Alright gang, welcome back to our Skyefin Aquafarm series here in Kinlaig. Today it's April. We've got a lot of things really to do today. I'm not sure we're going to get everything we need to do accomplished, but we are going to go ahead and get started here on getting everything kind of filled up here, if you will. We're going to go ahead and get this filled up. Obviously it's done already, which was pretty quick. And we're going to go ahead and start putting the soybeans in the ground, which is going to be great. I just run right into my other tractor while I'm at it. Good job there, Z. Way to go, buddy. But we're going to get the soybeans in the ground today. Pretty exciting about that. That's the biggest goal we have to do. We obviously have to do the normal stuff we do. We're moving around the fish around in the different areas like we need to do. We probably need to pull some of those pallets off of the lakes as well. They're getting close to being full. I made a bit of an issue there. I kind of drove over a tiny bit of crop there, but it's a very small amount. It won't be that big of a deal. But nonetheless, we've got to do all that stuff. A lot of you in the last episode saw the struggles that I had with the offshore aquafarm. You know, you said realistically you can put it right up against the edge, and you know that way you don't have to even worry about the boat. It's a pretty good idea, honestly. Since I hate it so much, I'm actually considering doing that. But we do have that one that we already placed down. It already has quite a lot of stuff in it. There's not really a reason in my eyes to go ahead and remove it yet. But yeah, I think that makes some sense, right? Just go ahead and do the next one and eventually sell that one we put down and try to put it as close as we can. Nope, not corn. Whoops. But basically just put it down there and try to do, you know, as good of a job as we can, I guess. In making it as close as we can to the dock there, and then just try to utilize, you know, the forklift or whatever it may be from the dock itself, and just try to, you know, put all of the fish food, etc. in there. That way I don't have to worry about utilizing the boat or anything like that. We purchased the boat, we have it, so, you know, we kind of checked off that mark on the accomplishments there, right? But at this point it just was not for me. I just really didn't like that. Started to get a little bit better at it as we continue to move along, and maybe I will continue to get better at it as we continue on the process here, but yeah, I think I'm kind of willing to, at this point, even lose a little bit of the fish food that's in there. Whoops. You know, just to make my life a little bit easier, but we're not going to be worrying about that today, but maybe in the future, down the line here, we will have to see, right? Anyway, soybeans are going in here. This is going to be great. There's hail in the forecast evidently today, which will not be so great, but we're going to get the soybeans in the field here, which is it's going to extremely help. I can't talk today. It's really going to help us when it comes to actually creating our own fish food, right? Being self-sufficient when it comes to the fish food. This is one of the big objectives that is still remaining and left to do here. So, having the soybeans going in now, it's a great thing. We already have one canola field. It's a very small canola field, but we do have one canola field nonetheless. This is one of the other big objectives that needs to happen so we can actually be self-sufficient when it comes to that fish food. After that, as far as the main objectives go for this series, we actually technically will be done. We probably want to run it for a little bit longer, right? We want to actually get the fish food going, and we probably, you know, need... I don't know how long it's going to take before we're actually going to have a lot of fish food where we can be self-sufficient, right? That's the goal, right? We have to be able to carry that fish food all to the different locations we have. So, in other words, we have to carry it all the way to our aquafarm back here, carry it to our fish lakes, and then do the offshore aquafarming, right? We have to have enough fish food by the month to be able to supply that. It may not take as long as I think, or it might take longer than I think. I really don't know, but... I guess we'll find out when we're done with the harvest of this field, which obviously we've got a ways to go before this field's going to be ready to harvest since we're just drilling it today. But, you know, when that time comes, we'll kind of figure out from there, you know, how much longer do we truly have, right? I love this series. It's not that I want the series to end by any means, but at the same time, you know, when we've accomplished all the goals and we are self-sufficient, there's not really a reason to continue at that point, right? So... I've got other ideas. I've said that for many months now. I have plenty of other ideas, so there will be other things happening for sure. And we'll kind of continue this basic story of me, really. If you recall, this series began in a loosely based series that was real life events that happened, and then I kind of, this is all made up at this point. I've never been to the Scotland area or the Scottish area, whatever you want to call this map. but, you know, it came from real life instances, I guess is how I will put it. Real life events that occurred in our previous series. So I kind of like the idea of kind of continuing this little series here with Z, if you will, and see where he ends up going next, right? What he does next. Take the money that we made from here and move on somewhere else and do another type of story, loosely based story, if you will. But we'll see, right? We'll see. Now, there's this little section up here that it probably isn't going to have anything growing in it because I just, you know, planted over it, and really for planting, you need to have it. I don't think this is a direct drill planter. I'm pretty sure it's not. I don't think there's many. If there are, maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is. But I don't think it is. Oh, it is. It is a direct. Okay. Well, all right. Well, it's going to be there. Then it's going to need a tiny bit of spraying or something, or a weeding of that little tiny spot. But I'm not that concerned about that tiny little spot, or if I'm honest with you. That's so small and so minuscule that it won't even make a difference. Anyway, how's everyone doing today? Hope you're all doing well. At the time of this recording, nope. The time of this recording, I am getting ready to be out of town briefly. Just a long weekend. I don't think there will be any kind of delay for any of the videos that you're specifically going to be able to watch. Maybe on Monday or Tuesday, depending on, I don't know when this is going to be released, but maybe Monday or Tuesday there might be a day where I don't have enough time, given, you know, what's going on with real life stuff and work stuff, right? But I'm attempting to try to have everything as much as I can prepped and ready to go, so you won't have any missed days of any episodes. But I'll obviously, as I always do, let you know if there is some reason that there's not going to be one. I will let you know. Like I said, if it is, it'll probably either be Monday or Tuesday. We get back Monday, so it could just be a situation where we get back Monday. I haven't had the time, or whatever it may be that I have to delay the Tuesday episode. I don't know, but we'll figure that out when that time comes. But I just like to warn you ahead of time in case there is not an episode there. That would be the reason why. But as always, if there isn't, I will make a post about it on the community tab. So this is a big field, man. This is a large field. We combined 2 fields for this. This is going to provide quite a lot of soybeans. Now, soybeans specifically, they're not going to be good to harvest until October for this one. Yeah, it'll be October for this one. So we've got a ways to go before this is even going to be something that we can even start to consider creating our own fish food, right? We need the soybeans to get there, and we're not going to have them until October. We will have the canola before that. We will have to turn that into canola oil. I'm not sure how much canola oil we would get out of it because, as I mentioned, our canola field is a little bit bigger than it has been in the past, but it's still a relatively small field, so I'm not exactly sure how much canola oil we'll get out of that, but nonetheless, we will have that as an option. I also believe I am going to start considering distributing some of the fish from the aquafarm instead of actually driving them all over the place like we've been doing. I think I'm going to start considering doing the actual distribution approach at this point. Obviously, if we're going to sell them, that's a different story. So the ones from the lake and the ones that are going to be produced from the aquafarm, that's a different story. But I think it's going to be time for us to start actually considering doing that distributing, because that is going to save us a lot of time. Now that we've got a lot of fields going on, we've got a lot of things to do, it is going to be a pretty big help to kind of offset that a bit and do that distributing process. So we're going to consider doing that. We're going to have some that are already spawned that we're going to have to do by hand anyway, and that's fine. We can do that, but as we continue to move forward, that's probably the approach we're going to go with. Now, the adult trout, we haven't really been selling them. We have 24,000, which is not a ton of money, but it's enough for the time being. But when we buy more of the fish food, we're going to have significantly less money, right? So we're going to need to sell some stuff today. The adult trout are going up. They're still not perfect, but we can get a pretty decent price there, as you can see. Well, after I backed out for 2 seconds and went back in, and autosave happened. But $4,037, I think it was the restaurant. Yeah, the Seaside Restaurant. So that's a pretty decent price. It's not that far off the average best price. So if we do need to sell some, we certainly can do so. Although we might end up just going the approach of selling the the young trout that we have, left over, and the young salmon that we have left over, if any. We might just go that approach. Speaking of that, the offshore, the young trout, there's plenty of room there for them, but the salmon is completely full, so we might be able to sell some of that. The young trout, I think, are going to fill up the fish lakes here, so it's probably just going to be whatever is remaining of the young salmon, because that is still maxed out at the offshore. We do have a small amount of young salmon still sitting there waiting to be accepted into that offshore aquafarm, and that's the reason why it's still maxed out. We had a lot of salmon that we put over there, and could only hold 10,000 liters. So, all right, does this have 3? Or yep, 3. Okay, so we'll do another one. We have both the fish food ones on, so that's good. There's still fish food over there, too. We bought a bunch of fish food and stuck it over there, so it's going to be a while before we're able to actually move or sell and put a new offshore agriculture location down. Now, you could say, well, why don't you just sell the boat for it, too? I don't know yet. I might. It was one of the rules that I had to buy the boats, right? Because that's part of the whole, offshore agriculture or aquafarm, whatever you want to call it. That's part of it, so I'm not sure if I really want to sell it. Obviously, when we're done with this series, we'll sell everything and move to wherever we go next, as I mentioned. But I don't know if I necessarily want to sell it right now. I don't think I don't know. We'll see. I'll think about it. Maybe you guys have some thoughts. I don't know, but since it's part of the actual, goals, I guess, I'm not really quite sure that I really want to sell it, even though we're going to try to, shift around that by not having to utilize it at all. I'm not positive if I really want to get rid of it at the same time yet or not, but we can figure that out later. We're going to need it for the time being because we're still going to have to go out to there and pick up all of the adult, fish that it's creating, the adult trout, the adult salmon. Now, I could put it on auto selling. I'm not going to do that, though. We're going to do it the old-fashioned way there because it is still a relatively new thing we put down. That's the only reason I'm actually even considering doing the distributing on all the other stuff, is because we've done it so many times. You've seen me do it thousands and thousands of times. But at least early on, in the early stages, I do like to do it the more manual way than just utilizing a distribution process, right? So that's just my personal preference. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right way or the way we should be doing it. That's just what I like to do. What else? 10,000 subscribers happened since the last time this episode, or this series aired. So thank you once again very much for your continued support. It does mean the world. I really appreciate it. Crazy that we hit 10,000. I did come out with a 10,000 subscriber special challenge, if you will, just a one-off challenge, about a 30-minute challenge. If you haven't watched that yet, it was released. I don't know when this is coming out, like I mentioned, but it was released last Wednesday. So check that out if you haven't done so. Maybe you'll partake in it, right? We're going to see if anybody wants to partake in it or not, and if you do, I will put your link to your video or your channel at least in the description of that video. If we get enough interest in doing it, maybe we'll figure out something we can potentially give away, right? I don't know what that would be yet. I don't have anything specifically, to give away right now, but maybe I can think of something. Code for DLC or I don't know, something, right? Just as a thank you for getting me to 10,000. We'll figure that out, right? Well, it just depends on if anybody even takes it on. Maybe nobody takes it on, right? So, I think it's a fun little challenge, though. It's completely different. It's things I've talked about in the past, for sure. Not to the extent of some of the things that I talked about. I kind of shrunk it down a bit to try to fit into that 30-minute window that I, kind of gave ourselves, but nonetheless, it is still an idea that I had in the past that I thought would be kind of cool to do. And it's very different. It's not your atypical challenge, if you will. The challenge is more along the lines of only having 30 minutes to do what you have to do, more so than, an actual specific challenge per se in the game itself, if that makes sense. Don't know if it does, but if it does. All right, so it wants us to go. Okay, good. I was gonna be concerned that it would want us to go up and down, but it does want us to go across. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And the hail has started, which means things are going to get a little bit slipperier out here. All right, we're just going to go the way it wants us to go. We're going to go right down the middle here, I guess, and we'll go from there. Now, it looks like we are going to have to probably, well, I don't know. I would say we're going to have to at least fill up the seeds and the fertilizer again here. We are at 51%. Oh, now heavy hail's coming. We are at 51%. Of seeds. So there's a high probability that we're going to have to put more seeds in here. We have to go buy some more. Which is going to cost more money, right? So I've really, really enjoyed this series, though, man. This map is phenomenal. I'm ecstatic about the series that we just kind of came up with here for this. It's been a lot of fun, man. It's been a lot of fun. All right, well, I've rambled on for, I don't know, 16 minutes, something like that. Let's get to work here. Let's get in the groove. Let's get this done. And yeah, like I said, I might have to run up there and fill up the seeds. It really seems like I'm going to, but we'll figure that out as we move along, I suppose, right? Hopefully this hail doesn't kill too much of our other crops. We really need all we can get out of those. All right, the field's done. I already see some hail damage in the field that we drilled here. I'm gonna drill over it. I don't know if it's actually gonna do anything specifically, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So yeah, we're gonna be having some hail damage. It's a heavy hail, man. This is some severe hail we're dealing with here. When is this gonna be done? Oh, not for a long time. It's gonna be hailing all day long. So the odds are we're going to get. Where did that go? I'm not crazy, right? You did see that from far away. You could see that there was hail damage here, right? I don't know. It's gone now. I don't know. Weird. I swear I saw it from way back here. I'm going to go back here again. I'm just going to run it on foot and see if I can see it. From far away, I swear there was hail damage that could be seen. There it is. It's up there a little further. It's a little further ahead. Wasn't quite there yet. I thought it was right here. Nope. Not on the back of that. If I zoom out far, maybe I'll be able to see it. I don't know. You can't... It looks like it's like right here, though. But I can't really tell. You can only tell from really far away, so I don't know. Oh, well, it is. There it is. There it is. Look, we're going over top of it. There it is. I was in the right spot. Look at that. Now, we didn't put that much fertilizer down here, and if you look at the nitrogen there on the left side of the little map there, which a lot of you said you would like to see that more often, so I decided to turn that on. You know, it's not really in a good spot, right? But it's telling me when you get out here and you look at it, it says perfect. So I don't know. Maybe we'll be able to fix it in the next episode. We do a second application of fertilizer down. Maybe it'll work then. I don't know. But anyway, well, that field's done. So we'll go ahead and move on. Now, like I said, besides this was the big objective we needed to do today. So we're going to try to do some of the other things that we do on a normal basis here, and we're going to start here. When I get back into the tractor here, we're going to start by doing the distributing that I talked about, right? So we have no fish food there at all. We're going to put these on distributing, and what it should, in theory, do is distribute it evenly between the fish lakes and the offshore aquaculture. Which, again, is fine. We've got plenty of stuff there for a little while. It's going to be fine. I'm not too concerned about that. And, yeah. We'll leave it at that. Now, we are going to have some, as I mentioned, that's down at the aquafarm itself. So we're going to need to go pick that up. We're going to do that now. Whatever pallets of fish are spawned, we'll pick those up now. And we'll distribute those, as we normally do, to the different lakes and things like that. We should be able to get most of what's actually out into the lakes before 11 o'clock hits, I would suspect. And then from that point forward, you know, whatever's remaining in there can be distributed evenly. More than likely, I would think a lot of the trout-specific portion of it would go into the offshore aquafarm. But I guess we'll figure it out. The salmon might just be hanging out in there for a little while, and that's also fine. Now, we've got $24,000. It's not a ton of money, but we are going to spend, I think, about $20,000 of that just on some more fish food. I don't know where to put this at. This doesn't really fit in there. We already have that one kind of blocking that off, so I don't really know where to put this. I don't know where to put this at all. Well, I guess you know what? I'm just going to put it over here for right now. It's not the best spot to put it, but I'm going to put it over here for right now anyway. And we'll figure out a spot for it later on, I guess. It was just sitting outside in the elements anyway. Probably don't really want to leave it out in the elements, but, you know, it is what it is. Thank you. All right, I think I'm going to switch to the case for this. The case is a little bit faster than the John Deere. The John Deere has a little more power, but the case is faster, so it's better for us if we're going to be doing some traveling, which we are. We need to consider getting another forklift. I've talked about that, I think, in the last episode, but it's true. We do need another forklift, at least for a temporary time period, to be able to store it at the shop to pick up that fish food. That's the biggest problem we have right now is we don't have any way to pick up that fish food. We have to move these forklifts back and forth. It's not really the most ideal situation, if I'm honest with you. Anything in the used market? There is this, which is actually nice, but I don't think I'm going to buy that. So I think I'm actually going to have to switch tractors again, even though I said I was going to use this one because it's faster. It is faster, but I'm pretty sure the John Deere, I will double check this, but I'm pretty sure the John Deere has the ability for us to be able to put a front loader on it. That's really what we need, so that way we can pick up the fish food from the actual shop, and then not necessarily we don't have to buy another forklift. We could just utilize that. But the big problem becomes is the John Deere is slower than this case. And the case that I'm at least from aware of, I don't think it has the ability for you to put on a front loader. So I guess technically we could just buy this for the case, I guess. But yeah, I don't think it's really necessary. We'll just deal with the, I don't know, 5 miles per hour slower, whatever it is. I think it's about 5 miles per hour slower. We'll just deal with it. All right, perfect. Now, I guess if we're going to be doing... Let me think about this for a minute. I guess if we're going to be doing the distributing approach moving forward, you know what we could do, in theory? Actually, I think this will work. What we could do to save ourselves a few bucks is I could, at least for right now, pull this trailer... Let me hook it back up to here first. We'll use this to kind of transport the fish first, and then we'll think about it. But we could, in theory, take the forklift there, utilize it to pull the trailer. Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, you would only leave the forklift there, so you'd have to go bring the tractor down to the shop anyway. What I was trying to get at was we could essentially pull this trailer with the forklift down to the shop and then, leave the forklift there, especially since we have that now on distributing. There's really not going to be any more pallets that are going to spawn there, so we don't really need the forklift there anymore, right? We could go that approach. Well, maybe we should. But either way, we're going to have to get the tractor there anyway, because we want to leave the forklift there. We're not going to bring the forklift all the way back here again, right? So... Alright, I think the rest of that are adult salmon, I think. Or, I'm sorry, not adult salmon, young salmon. They are. Okay. So those really can be sold, honestly. There's no room at the offshore aquafarm for these salmon, so they really could just be sold. So I think that's what I'm going to do. It's going to produce a little bit more money for us and put us in a slightly better position since we're going to spend 20 grand right now on fish anyway, fish food anyway. Could obviously sell the adult fish. I talked about that, but the price is decent, but I would really, really prefer to wait and sell it when it's the best time to sell it. We haven't had that luxury of being able to do that. Granted, we're a little low on money right now, but we do have that luxury to at least wait one more month, which the price should continue to go up, right? It should continue. I'm going to go around the long way. Now, I think... Let's just thinking this through. We don't. Okay. I was gonna say I thought we got this portion of the woods there, but it looks like it's part of 69, field 69 there. So never mind. I was going to say we could potentially get rid of some of those trees to be able to provide us a little bit of extra income, and in theory we could, you know, put something there if we wanted to, or, you know, or not. Okay, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, Alfred? What are you doing, man? What are you doing? Anyway. So, let's go sell these first. Let's go sell these first. And then we'll, well, you know what? I can just buy the fish food right now, right? I can just buy the fish food right now. No matter what, we're going to have to bring that, that forklift to the shop anyway, right? So, it won't matter. Yeah, so 20,800 doesn't leave us with a ton of money. But selling these salmon here will hopefully get us closer to 7,000 again, which is a little bit of a better spot to be in. Certainly not the greatest spot, but it would be a little bit of a better spot for sure. It'll let us get by at least until next month with the fees and etc. Right? It's about 2,000 or so, a little over that, I think, of fees and maintenance type of things that we occur. We don't really have any interest because we don't have a loan, but you know, we still have fees and things from buildings and you know, productions and etc. So, and there's all that fish food. Never mind. We didn't even need to buy fish food. I forgot about that fish food. Oh man, I forgot about that fish food. Well, all right. Well, we've got a ton of fish food now, I guess. Whoops. You guys are supposed to remind me about that. Not that you could have reminded me. I'm not recording this live, but, or I'm not recording this, you know, like on Twitch or on YouTube or anything like that. I've talked about that in the past, right? A lot of people have asked me if I ever do any kind of live stream of any sort, and I don't. The way that my setup is, I don't think I can actually do it with YouTube. I've tried to get it set up properly, and it just doesn't seem to work. I can do it with like a Twitch type of live stream, right? Or something similar. But I just haven't. Maybe one day we'll do it, but it just hasn't really been something that I've considered really that much. This thing is a little difficult to get in here because it is a wide load here. Made a lot more money than I thought we were going to make, as a matter of fact. Ended up getting 18,000 out of that. That's awesome. That is awesome. All right, well, I guess we're going to have to make the long trip now with the forklift. Bringing it to the shop. So, I'm going to pull this off to the side over here, because we're going to have to pick up that fish food as well. So I will meet you at the side of the road here where all that fish food was that I completely forgot about from the last episode. It's been a while, actually, since I did the last episode. May not seem like it, but I recorded a bunch of those ahead of time, so it's been a while. And that's just a brain fart on me, so. But it's not like we're not going to use it, right? We can use it. It just puts us in a little bit of a more difficult spot. But now that we have 18,000, we're fine. We're gold. We're golden, man. We are golden. Not a problem at all. If we didn't make that much money off that salmon, that'd be a different story. Okay, can you drive? Drive! Oh, my lord. These people. Alright, I will see you when I've got everything set up back down here again. We're going to attempt the best we can here to get all of this off the grass area and into the onto the trailer here. It's probably going to be not the most ideal thing you've ever seen. It's probably going to be a little rough, but we'll get it done. We'll get it done. We will get it done. All right. Well, I made it over here. Now it's just the dealing with all the traffic we're going to be dealing with here. All right. I'm gonna see if I can flip this thing over without it getting stuck. A lot of the times it doesn't happen. A lot of times you do end up getting it stuck, but I'm gonna try to not. And perfect. I'm actually very surprised by that. So it turns out we've got a absolute boatload of fish food. There was still another pallet, I think, up at the shop somewhere else, or maybe it was just the extra one, I don't know. Also, we still have the header. For the sunflowers and corns. That is still up at the shop that we haven't picked up yet. Not sure when we're going to utilize it, but we did buy that, you know, in case we wanted to go that approach of the sunflower oil instead of the canola oil. So we may end up not even needing it, but it was so inexpensive that it just felt like it was something we should do right then and there, right? So we did. All right, this should be a little bit easier, this section here. Now, all of a sudden, we're dealing with the mud here. The deformation here is causing us some issues, but... No. Oh, see? That deformation really caused issues, man. That was a disaster there. It's just right on the edge. If you're in the grass, it's fine, but right on the edge there, you can see how much it sinks into the ground there. All right, we just got 2 more to pick up here, then we can go to the shop and pick up the remainders. Maybe not the smartest thing, but I am going to attempt to try to put them on top of these back here. Alright, that should, in theory, fix it now. Perfect. Alright, that will work. Alright, so we'll drive this to the shop, and then we'll take the forklift up to the shop, and we'll get the rest of this stacked up, and then we can bring this back and deposit it in all the locations it needs to be deposited into. More specifically, the lakes and our aquafarm production, because it is not operating at all right now. We need to get that thing back up and going. All right, we're back here. I had a little bit of an issue there with that turn. Thought I was going to have a little more room to turn into that one trout lake that I actually did, but it looks like everything's in good shape now as far as the fish lakes go. So we just got to go down here, and yeah, we'll be good then at that point. Obviously, quite a lot of salmon there for it to distribute still, so it's going to be a bit, but that's okay. I guess I could have spawned those if I really wanted to and sold them. That's all right. We're going to make more money off them as being adult salmon anyway, right? So, hail is still coming down ferociously, but yeah, we've got a lot of fish food here. I think this is going to be almost an exact amount that is required for this. Yeah, 30,000 liters. We have 30,286, so this is almost as perfect as I possibly could have made it, and I wasn't even realizing that it was going to be that good, but this is going to be good, man. This is going to be good. But now that we have both of the salmon and the trout on the 2 times, right? It's obviously it's taking a lot more. It's utilizing the fish food a lot more than it had been in the past. So really, we probably did need more than what we actually have now. But this is going to have to do for the time being. We're going to back this sucker up a little bit easier here to hopefully kind of just park it in the area where they're all going to be accepted. There we go. Just a tiny, tiny bit left. All right. And with that, gang, we're going to leave the episode there. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash the like and subscribe button. In the case you have yet to do so, they're free. They help me a ton. Thank you to my members. I cannot thank them enough. There is a link down below if you're interested in that. You do get early access to videos like this one, including the ever-popular competitive one-tile challenge. My other channel link is down below. I'm doing playthroughs of Red Dead Redemption 2. High on Life 2, which just recently came out, and the recent DLC for Dynasty Warriors Origins. So if those interest you, maybe check that out. I've also got a bunch of different playthroughs for many, many years ago on there as well, if that interests you. Discord's down below. You can share your progress on whatever you're doing. I do share every video that I have on both channels there, so if you want to cherry pick things you might want to watch, Discord's a good place to be at. And like I said, gives you the option to share anything that you might be working on as well, whether it's a live stream or an actual video or whatever. Just screenshot images, whatever, discussions, whatever you want to do. It's all down below for you. As I always mention, thanks for watching. Thanks for your continued support. It does mean the world. Thanks for 10,000 subscribers, especially. And we'll see you next time.